So you want to start working with resin and don't know what type to use? Epoxy resin may be the way to go. Epoxy is a versatile resin used in a lot of different projects, so it's important to use the right epoxy for the right project. If you're primarily wanting to use it for molds, look for a casting resin. They have a lower viscosity, making it easier to fill voids with less bubbles. Coating resins are used to coat level surfaces such as tabletops and artwork. They are thicker and will dome nicely, meaning it will sit on top of the surface without running off too quickly, allowing for a beautiful, thick, high gloss coating. In my projects, I use both casting and coating resins. After my project has reached a soft cure in the mold, I will finish them off with a heat-resistant coating resin for a beautiful, high gloss finish and allowing my coasters to be used with hot drinks without any damage. One of the first decisions you need to make is what type of projects you want to do and which resin is best to use for your projects. I suggest you do a little research before purchasing your resin. Most resin artists will either work with UV resin or epoxy resin. UV resin requires UV light in order to cure. The benefit to UV resin is it allows you more time to work as it only cures with UV light, and the curing process is much quicker. As a beginner, it is suggested that you start with epoxy resin because it's easier to work with and it's more versatile. The curing time is much longer for epoxy resins as the curing process begins once the two parts are mixed together. A lot of resins can take up to 24 hours to cure.
I love those super patronizing small business songs that come up on my For You page all the time, because they always sound like, I'll fucking kill you if you don't buy from my small business. You're a fucking moron if you don't buy from my small business. You're gonna spend $600 on the garbage that I sell, or else you suck. What?
The options with starting a resin business are practically limitless, and depending on which route you choose to take, you can make quite a profit. You can make anything from earrings, necklaces, keychains, paintings, or even furniture. And furniture can sell for thousands and thousands of dollars. Like any other business, you have to narrow down your specialty. That is what's going to establish your brand and give your business a unique angle, which is so important. You also need to be competitive. You need to have quality products that customers will love. And the more you practice, the better your art will be. And the better your art, the more customers you have. The basic supplies that any resin artist needs include resin or epoxy, of course, molds or surfaces, mixing cups, and stir sticks, protective equipment because these are chemicals and the fumes can be very dangerous. And this video shows you guys all the kinds of art that you can do with resin, and anyone can be a little bit more creative and come up with new designs that have never been done before, which is what will set you apart as a business owner.
Hey guys, so I wanted to create a short video on some of the basics you need if you're a beginner with resin. First things first, of course, you need some epoxy resin. Currently, I prefer using the ProMarine brand for most of my projects, but I do also use other brands depending on the project. This one is going to give you a lot of bang for your buck if you're working with a smaller budget. Then, of course, you need silicone measuring cups. These are great because they are reusable. They come with measuring lines inside and come in various different sizes. Best of all, if you're like me and want to save the planet, it helps to reduce the amount of plastic that you're using. And you'll need popsicle sticks. I prefer these over the silicone mixing spoons personally, and I like to have them in the small and jumbo sizes. And you'll most definitely need gloves because resin is not good for your skin and gets very messy. Some silicone molds, these come in tons of shapes and sizes. Some silicone mats to keep your work area nice and clean in case you spill. And glitter, this is a really nice add-in if you like sparkly things. And of course some alcohol inks and mica powder pigments to add color to your resin. These are just a few beginner materials, but you'll learn more as you go.
I wanted to make an updated beginner's guide as so many of you left me feedback on my previous video, so this is to ensure that everybody is staying safe when they make resin art and that we are following best practice. Resin is so toxic, so please make sure you are doing this in a well-ventilated room or with an open window. I work with a silicone mat, I have one-to-one craft resin, and I use a proper PPE ventilated mask. You can find this on Amazon. Please use this with gloves and goggles. I use silicone cups and silicone sticks to stir. and I also use a few molds of choice. You'll need resin paint or mica powder. A lot of you have stressed how unethical this is, but I found brands like Resinate do source ethical mica powder. Silicone baking trays, as I use those for my tray molds. Pipettes, gilding paste, gold leaf and rose petals. Secateurs for shaping, sandpaper and a blue torch to get rid of bubbles.